Hey guys, what's going on? Megan here. Here's a really quick video. I'm not lying this time. It's going to be quick. Here's a really quick video on how muscle is built. I feel like a lot of people just don't understand the muscle building process. So it's hard for them to put programs together. It's hard for them to figure out what information is bullshit or truth, blah, blah, blah. So having a basic understanding of how muscle is built will help speed up your muscle building journey, right? So let's get straight to it. Again, I got to try to make this quick this time. Number one, and I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can follow along, right? And I'm gonna try my best to simplify this. It all starts with testosterone, right? Again, the androgen receptor. Again, I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible, so I'm gonna leave out a lot of the extra details. So testosterone binds to the androgen receptor, right? And then the goal is to go to the nucleus of the cell, right? Because the nucleus of the cell, right? Nuclei for plural is where your DNA is. Without your DNA, you can't build muscle. Right? I mean, that's where your genes are. Okay, so but in order to go to your genes and find the instructions to build muscle, your body has to, go through this transcription process, which requires the use of the androgen receptor mainly. So testosterone binds the androgen receptor, and we go to step two, right? We find the nucleus of the cell. And again, remember, if you watch my Nucleus Overload videos, muscle cells have a lot of fucking nuclei, right? The more nuclei you have, the more muscle you're gonna build eventually at a faster rate, right? So testosterone binds the androgen receptor, goes to the nucleus of the cell, right? And eventually gets the instructions, right? So mRNA, which is pretty much the instructions on how to build muscle. Because remember, muscle is made out of amino acids, right? But those amino acids have to be put together in a certain sequence, right? It's kind of like the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, right? So muscle has to be put together. The amino acids have to be put together in a certain sequence. But that sequence, whether you have to put leucine first or lysine, whatever, that sequence is found in your DNA, in your genes. So that's why we need step two to take place, right? Now, once the instructions are found, right, mRNA, right, now it's time to build muscle, right? So let's go to step three. So you have the workbench, right? Of course, they're called ribosomes, but just to keep it simple, we'll just call them the workbench, right? And that's where mTOR comes in, right? mTOR is the enzyme that pretty much, speeds up this process and builds your ribosomes. Once you have the workbench, you can start building muscle, right? So now we go to step four, protein from the diet, right? Because you need the amino acids, right? Muscle is made out of amino acids. We know now we have the instructions on how to put them together, but now we need to start actually synthesizing them. And that's what protein synthesis is. It's literally you sticking together a bunch of amino acids to create bigger, muscle tissue. So you get the protein from the diet, right? On the workbench, right? And obviously this whole process needs calories, right? Energy, right? You can't do any of this without step five, which is calories, right? Energy. And I put a little ATP molecule here. And once you do 3 plus 4 plus 5, boom, you end up with new muscle. So in less than, I don't know how long this video is, in less than what, 3 minutes, you pretty much understand how muscle is built, right? Step one, you have the transcription factors, right? Which is, again, testosterone bound to the androgen receptor. Step two, right? This thing travels to the nucleus of the cell. The more nuclei you have, the better, right? Because muscle cells have multiple nuclei. The instructions are found, right? That's why it's called transcription. You just literally copying and pasting. Muscle building is just copying and pasting. You copy instructions, and then boom, you go on the workbench, right? The ribosome, which is going to be built by mTOR and P70X6K, all that fancy shit, right? And then the cell grabs the amino acids from the diet and builds a muscle, right? Now, what does this have to do with programming and, rep ranges and progressive overload and volume and frequency? Well, if you're not building muscle, try to figure out which step are you fucking up on. Step one, step two, step three, step four, step five, right? So step one, right? Your testosterone levels low as shit. In fact, what's most important is not just your testosterone, but your androgen receptors, right? Because remember, it doesn't matter if your testosterone is 4,000 nanograms per DL. If you don't have enough androgen receptors, then there's no way to carry testosterone into the cell. And you might say, well, how do I increase my androgen receptors? Train more fucking often, right? Train hard, right? There's only three things that your training is going to contribute to that, which is your volume, right? How much total work you're doing, right? Sets times reps, right? Times weight, of course. Your intensity, so how hard you train, right? As close to failure as possible. You don't have to go to complete failure, but as close to failure as possible, right? So that's whether you're using a heavy weight or you're doing higher reps with the same weight, and obviously frequency, how often you train. All right, so your androgen receptor, you want to maximize that. Simple. Train hard, train frequently, right? And try to accumulate as much total volume as possible. Go heavy, go as close to failure as possible. Well, I hate saying that, not as close to failure as possible, but you know what I mean. Like train hard, right? don't grab a, I don't know, a 50-pound dumbbell, and if you're capable of doing 20 reps, don't do 5, right? Because you're not fucking training hard. So that's gonna maximize your step one, right? And of course, that's the reason why men build more muscle than women and stuff like that. And as you get older, your ability to build muscle goes down, because your step one is all fucked up, right? And that's also why, obviously, if you're on steroids, this process is a lot faster, right? Because you have a ton of testosterone, a ton of androgen receptors. Right? Step two, right? How do you maximize your nuclei, right? Nucleus overload, right? Simply train more frequently, right? Ton of volume at the end of the week. Try to accumulate as much volume as possible, right? Within the 4-week period, and that's going to help you maximize your nuclear content, right? Just frequent, high volume training, like I said, it's always for a 4-week period. I always recommend nucleus overload to be done in a 4-week period so that you don't literally burn yourself out. Plus, you don't need that much time to accumulate new nuclei in the muscle cell. It can happen again, that's why I prescribe 4 weeks, because it can happen in 2 to 3 weeks. So step two, right? Make sure that you increasing your nuclei. Guys, you gotta understand this. This is not a theory, right? Studies came out years after the nucleus overload thing and explain you need more nuclei in order to build muscle. In fact, some studies were even mentioning that. I'm finding studies that were even mentioning this before 2011, before I mentioned nucleus overload, right? So this is not a theory. The more nuclei in your muscle cell, the faster you will build muscle. Right? Especially past the noob phase, right? If you've been training for a long time and you pass your noob phase and you're like, man, the gains are not coming, increase your fucking nuclei, right? You need more DNA, right? And then go to the next step, mTOR, right? Or you fucking up on your step 3 phase, meaning you're not giving yourself, once everything is accounted for, once you're training hard enough and all that stuff, are you giving yourself enough recovery? Remember, guys, I made a video on the mTOR recovery process. If you constantly train over and over and over again and you don't take breaks, eventually mTOR becomes desensitized, right? And that's why beginners build muscle so much faster, because the mTOR, like I said, is a virgin, right? It's like, holy shit, let's get to it. But the more often you train, the longer you train, eventually mTOR becomes desensitized. That's your body's way of saying, okay, I got to find a way to stop this guy from putting on too much muscle. Yeah, I know it sucks, because that's ideally our goal. Also, myostatin, right? That's what myostatin does. Myostatin fucks up the whole phase 3 thing, right? So try to make sure that your myostatin levels, obviously, how do you do that? Again, train frequently, take breaks. Train frequently, take breaks. You want to condense high volume periods, right, within cycles, and then eventually recover from that to resensitize them to, on top of doing the basic stuff that lowers myostatin. And I have videos on that. If step 3 is not your issue, let's go to step 4. Are you getting enough protein? Most people are getting enough protein, but if you're on a diet, if you're on a caloric deficit, 90% of the time you're probably not getting enough protein. Remember, the more calories you're eating, the less protein you need. The less calories you're eating. Wait, did I say that right the first time? The more calories you're eating, the less protein you need, right? Because again, your body doesn't have to convert protein, into glucose, for energy. The less calories you're eating, the more protein you need. A lot of people just forget about that. So make sure you're optimizing your protein intake based on your caloric intake. If you're on a big cut, increase the shit out of your protein. If you're on a bulk, then you probably don't need as much, right? And finally, make sure you're getting enough food. Step 5, right? Make sure you're getting enough calories overall, because that's obviously going to speed up the process. Now, of course, you could build muscle, in a deficit, but again, it's going to be a lot harder, because mTOR is very, very sensitive to energy signals, right? Studies have shown over and over again, if you're on a caloric deficit, your protein synthesis is a lot lower than lazy lion is calling. I'll answer later. I'll make a video. So yeah, guys, that's it. Like I said, I promise to keep this video short, so hopefully I did not go over the limit. Try to figure out, right? Try to self-diagnose which of those 5 steps you're fucking up on if you notice that you're not building muscle anymore. All right? And that's it. Hope this video helps. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. A lot of y'all fuckers are not subscribed. YouTube is showing me that. And obviously, see you in the comment section. I'm out.